What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 291, powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink, man. Right here. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Support them because they're supporting us. They sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so show them love at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. And let's get into it, man. There's a lot of news to talk about. I know the episodes haven't been on schedule as usual, but I did see somebody comment on the full episode that we released, the last episode, that we premiered it, I believe, Friday morning. And someone in the comments said they really liked that. So I don't know. Do we have to do a schedule change? Or do you guys want the episodes a little bit earlier in the morning? I don't know. We just kind of decided on the fact that Monday and Thursdays would be best for the episodes to come out with a 6 p.m. video release. At least the audio would come out that night. Right now, the schedule's been a little messed up because of the breakdowns that I have. That's the only time it's been messed up. But it'll go right back on schedule once I'm done with these bar-for-bar breakdowns and they're out. It's finished. It'll go right back to normal schedule. Other than that, let me know. Yeah, if you guys want a different schedule, if you guys liking the episodes a little bit more earlier or in the morning, I guess, 12, something like that, or or in the afternoon or later at night potentially, because we've been on the schedule for a minute. So if there's any change that's needed, just let me know. But yeah, let's get into the news, and then after the news, I do want to break down the Kendrick Lamar "Not Like Us" track bar for bar, and then we got the Heart Part 6 with Drake, and then that's it. I want to then talk about just the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle, because Drake is still sending subliminal shots. I'm not even capping. If you go on his Instagram right now, he posted a caption on one of his photos, and this is what he's got to say, little word for word, and everybody is tying it to Kendrick Lamar. He said in the caption, "Goats don't worry about one-trick ponies." He's calling Kendrick Lamar a one-trick pony. Maybe that he's a conscious rapper and can't do anything else but just rap about conscious things, which is ridiculous because Kendrick himself just proved how versatile he is with all the disses he dropped. I mean, Meet the Grams and Not Like Us are two totally vastly different tracks. Like, they're so opposite of each other that it's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know if if Drake is just doing it to troll, but Kendrick did say, "Hey man, if you're gonna keep sending subliminals, I will go directly at you again, and we'll do a whole round 2 if we have to." So yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted on that, but just interesting in itself. Let's get into the news. Young Dolph's alleged killers get a new trial date, which is ridiculous. This murder happened in November of 2021. We are in June of 2024. It's about to be 3 years, and we're not even getting this trial started. It's ridiculous. Young Dolph's alleged killers have been given a new trial date almost 3 years after the rapper's death. The trial of Justin Johnson, Cornelius Smith for the murder of Dolph was originally set to begin in March and later delayed until June, but now is pushed back further with a new start date of September 23rd. The continued delay of the trial is due to both the prosecution and defense requesting a continuance, which would allow them time to prepare witnesses for court. Shelby County Judge Jennifer J. Mitchell granted the motion but was not overly pleased. "As we all know, this case was set for trial today," she said in court Monday, June 3rd. "I was extremely upset when lawyers came to me asking for a motion to continue this case. I was really anxious to get this case over and done with starting this week, but they both expressed to the court the desire to get experts in, so I allowed the continuance to occur." Okay, so it's basically the lawyers basically saying that we need more witnesses and stuff. So I guess that's fair. I mean, it's different if like just the judge did it, but hey, it is what it is, man. It sucks. It sucks for Dolph's family because they got to continuously deal with this thing and not get the justice that they deserve. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. Unfortunately, it's been pushed back again, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow it got pushed back again. If it gets pushed back to November, that'll officially be 3 years till finally the trial starts, which is fucking insane. But yeah, prayers out to Dolph. Rest in peace. I'm just bumping the, what's the album called, man? The deluxe version. The last album he just dropped. I'm forgetting the fucking Rich Slave, I think. Deluxe version. Yeah, Rich Slave deluxe version. I was bumping the Scotch record. Shout out to Dolph, man. That song is fucking. Let me play a little bit, man. If you're not into Dolph, let me give you a little taste Shout out to Bandplay, man. One of the best producers. It just works so well with Dolph. Play this quick, man. Just a little bit. Oh.
Just seen it.
Star, Waller, models, got a whole lot of.
Man, that beat is just out of this world, bro. And Dolph just flows on that bitch like it's nothing, man. I miss that guy's music, for real. Shout out to Young Dro. I've been listening to Young Dro. I saw somebody in the comments of Young Dro's Rubber Band Bangs. Boing, yoing, yoing, yoing. That record, I love that record, man. That first verse is so lethal, it's disgusting. He says, out of space ball and put you up on astronomy. Mathematically, with the pistol, I do trigonometry. Humbly, eat up like a piranha bee. Like, it's just, bro, it's ridiculous. The way he flows on that bitch. Like, someone in the comments, though, said Dolph was, not Dolph, but Dro was like what Dolph was, but before Dolph. So, yeah, basically Dolph copied Dro. Not copied, but just is like a Memphis version of Dro. But regardless, Young Dro's fire. I was just bumping Young Dro as well, but I saw that in the comments, so it just made me remember of Dolph as well. Let's get into the YSL Rico updates on that trial. YFN Lucci will officially not testify, which is kind of expected that. If he would have ended up testifying, obviously, that would have been a huge hit to him in terms of his street cred as a rapper and stuff like that. They would have called him a snitch, so on and so forth. But YFN Lucci will not be testifying in Young Thug's ongoing YSL Rico trial. The decision was confirmed in court by the prosecution after the judge asked if the rapper would be taking the witness stand. The prosecutor replied, at this juncture, we do not believe he will be testifying. Despite remaining on the state's witness list, Lucci had previously refused to testify in the case. The rapper's attorney previously stated any party can announce, for example, that Abraham Lincoln is on their witness list, but those words alone are meaningless. So to be 100% clear, Rayshawn Bennett, YFN Lucci will not be a witness in the YSL case. So yeah, they can just say that they're on the witness list, but you can't force somebody. I think there are certain cases which I wouldn't know because I'm not a lawyer. There are certain instances where a person has to go up there and talk, but they don't have to answer. Obviously, they can just say yes, no, or I don't know. Those type of things. It's kind of like an interrogation. What's that? Deposition, I think it's called. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Like, don't quote me on any of this stuff. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I think there are certain instances where you can call somebody up and they have to at least be up there and answer the questions. They don't have to answer them in detail, or they could plead the fifth in some of them, but like usually it's like a yes, no, I don't know, those type of like responses. But yeah, so he's not on there. He's not testifying, and that's it with that. Sean Kingston, the scammer. You're way too beautiful. That guy, if you don't know who he is. Sean Kingston was actually locked up, and he got released. So let's go over the article. Sean Kingston has been released from police custody just days after he was booked for his involvement in a $1 million fraud case. Last week, the beautiful girl's hitmaker was extradited to Florida and held in Broward County Jail. His bond was subsequently set at $100,000 as a judge listed the 10 criminal charges he is currently facing. On Tuesday, June 4th, CBS Miami reported that the singer has been let out from jail after paying the aforementioned amount. I don't know who is claiming they owe money, the 34-year-old's lawyer, Bob Rosenblatt, said. If there are other issues I'm not sure about, it's a breach of contract. There's no fraud here. There's no organized fraud at all. Kingston's mother, Janice Turner, was also arrested on numerous fraud and theft charges during a raid at their rented mansion on the same day her son was arrested across the country. The Tomorrow vocalist is now facing grand theft charges after he allegedly stole jewelry, a Cadillac Escalade, a custom bed worth more than $80,000. He has also been accused of defrauding banks of more than $45,000, violating his probation for trafficking stolen property, and writing bad checks. Following the arrest, he took to social media to clear his name. People love negative energy. I am good, and so is my mother. My lawyers are handling everything as we speak. The reason why I never believe this stuff is because I will never forget that TikTok of this business owner that said that Sean Kingston wanted to buy a private jet, and he tried to finesse his way into stealing the private jet by sending like a fake wire fraud of like $200,000, and ended up not going through after like they finished. It was like some crazy stuff. Stories like that don't come out unless you're actually doing that type of stuff. Like it's very rare. Like, come on, man. Have any of you been accused of scamming? Because you guys don't scam. I don't scam. I've never been accused of scamming people because we just don't roll like that. But if you got stories like this, like it's the same theory that I've always, or the same, I don't even know what the proper word to use is, same analogy, I guess, or whatever. Same thing that I always say is where there's smoke, there's fire. And here there was a lot of smoke, and here finally we got caught with the fire with him getting arrested. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes posted. But, he's out. So it was a little brief thing for him. But I'm sure we're going to get more information as time goes on. And if Sean Kingston actually faces any time for this, or if he gets, his things repossessed for not being able to pay back a lot of this stuff. So, yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. New updates with Diddy, and this has to do with his Revolt shares and what happened to them. Let's go over the article. Diddy's former Revolt shares have been redeemed and retired as the company's employees have become the majority owners. In a social media post on Tuesday, June 4th, the media network said, Revolt is honored and proud to announce that in an unprecedented and historic move in black media space, our newly projected largest shareholder group are Revolt's current employees. Our mission to become the largest media company powered by creators and fueled by the culture continues. So they gave basically Diddy shares to the employees, which is a great move, man. Employees, I think, do deserve a lot because they build a lot of companies up, man. They're the reason why a lot of these things, moving pieces, happen. Yeah, of course, there's the boss, CEO, the leader that kind of comes up with the idea and takes the risk, most of the risk when it comes to businesses. But, it takes a team. It takes, a huge set amount of people to make things work. That's just the reality. Nobody can do it all on their own. You got to recognize the fact that employees make shit happen too. They might not be, the biggest moving factor, or they might not come up with all the great ideas or whatever, but whatever field that they're in for the company, as long as they do their job, they're doing a huge piece because all those pieces coming together is what makes a company work. Shit, I would do the same thing. If my company is big enough and I was a CEO and I would have shares that I could give out, I would give out shares, man. I got no type of, what's that guy, the CEO of that one company? I forget the company's name, man. He's a CEO that became like a multi-millionaire and just became really, really rich and just said, I don't even care. Like, I'm giving a lot of this money back to my employees. And they're like, the company just skyrocketed. It's been doing great ever since. And I remember there were people clowning the company saying that it's going to fail. Like, this is not the right move. But everybody becomes happier. When employees are paid more and they're paid properly, everybody just does work better. Everybody flows better. Everybody's just happier. You don't want your employees to be stressing day in and out about bills and stuff like that. You want to have a great environment, and that's the best way to do things, man. Certainly, when I get in a position where I can have a huge staff of people, they're all going to be paid handsomely well because I think once they're happy, that trickles on to everything when it comes to work. When everybody's happy and not stressing about bills and money and stuff, hey, that's the best way to do it, man. So shout out to Revolt for doing that. The CEO, speaking to Variety CEO Detavio Samuels, explained how the company would be moving forward with their new ownership. All the data suggests that the companies that have an incentive pools for their employees outperform the rest. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. He said they perform better financially, they perform better with company morale and culture, and they perform better as it relates to retention. Exactly. And what's crazy is Walmart's doing the same. Well, not with stocks, but they're doing it with their managers. That each Walmart, in whatever state, it doesn't matter what state it is in America, but each Walmart it's located, if the managers have their Walmart perform really well, everybody gets bonuses. Everybody gets their minimum wages raised. But it's for that specific Walmart. So that can be a good and a bad thing, right? You would want minimum wages to go up for everybody that works, right, at Walmart. And just in general, work in general, it's better, to have a decent life to live, right? Because what is the minimum wage? I don't even know. It's like $8, some crazy shit. You can't live off that, right? Especially in America. Like, you're going to need a partner. You're going to need some type of help. You're going to need a second, third job, whatever, which is disgusting. But the Walmarts, if one performs really well, one performs really bad, the one that's performing really bad isn't going to have, like, everything reduced. But they're not going to get bonuses. They're not going to get, like, their managers isn't going to get a lot of money. The managers in Walmart have a potential, if they actually make their Walmart perform really well with everything going on, they have a potential to make $500,000 a year. That's $500,000 a year managing a Walmart. In what world would you think managing a Walmart would get you $500,000 a year? That's astronomical amounts of money. That's doctor's money. Like, you got to go to get a degree for 8 to 10 to 12 years, whatever your degree is, in doctor or something, lawyer, like huge, to get that kind of money. But if you manage a Walmart properly, you can make that kind of money. And then it trickles down to everybody else. Employees get their bonuses and get their wages raised as well. But that's going to be specific to each Walmart. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. But ultimately, it's simple. If these CEOs and these fucking companies would stop being greedy and actually help their employees, everybody would be happier. It's really that simple. People wouldn't be stressing about money, food, shelter. Like, it's that simple. At what point has one person becoming a multi-billionaire ever helped the employees? Like, how is one person having that much wealth, concentrated wealth, and one person helped employees and just companies? It hasn't. It's never helped. Like, me personally, if I ever, because becoming a billionaire is basically essentially luck. It's obviously being smart too, but luck plays a huge part because it's the timing of how you do things. If you just happen to be, like Mark Cuban says it the best, he doesn't sugarcoat things and say, hey, I became a billionaire because I'm smart, I'm a genius, I just did everything right. No, he says luck played the time when I got into the internet and created what I created just happened to be the right time to do it. Live streaming, which was he was actually the first website to have live streaming. That just created the perfect moment for him to become a billionaire. And that's what really, Mr. Beast right now is basically, I think, the only YouTube billionaire, but he's worth over $1 billion. Like, everything that's combined that he has is worth over $1 billion. But you got to think, even Mr. Beast said, hey, it was timing. Just the wave of YouTube. He got into it early to the point where a lot of people were getting into it early. And then he just capitalized on that wave of creators coming. And yeah, that's all it really is capitalizing the moment. Right now, I think the moments that are coming up is AI technology. So if you can find ways to inform yourself, as well as cryptocurrency, I think cryptocurrency is going to be something that, like, if you get informed in cryptocurrency and just AI technology, you got a chance to not be a billionaire, but you got a chance to be a multimillionaire. Like, there's very good chances out there if you're well informed on that stuff. And I still need to get more informed on it. I know a lot about both fields, but nowhere near the amount I should be doing. But I don't know. I spread myself thin to a lot of things, so I can't do everything, but I try, So with all that being said, hey, man, if you're ever owning a company or you're becoming somebody who wants to own a company, man, treat employees fairly. Don't get greedy with the money because it doesn't help anything. It just makes people more miserable that don't want to contribute. Because if somebody gets paid really well, an employee, right? And this is how I would view it, because if I was an employee, I would view it like that too. And that's how I would react, at least. If I got paid really well, better, and it got treated better, I would stay at that company. It would make me want to stay at that company. Retention, I would be there. I would do the same things over and over and help the company grow and everything. Like, it just, because you would feel better about being there. You would want to help the company grow because everything's, for you, everything is given the proper way. You're not having any complaints. If you need time off, you get time off, all these things. But yeah, just these companies don't get it, man. I don't understand. That guy, that millionaire that did that, I need to find out who it was, but I forget his name and stuff. He had a company that was doing it too, and they succeeded like crazy, and they're still going strong, like astronomical numbers, because he just gave his wealth to the employees. He was like, listen, man, why should I be a multimillionaire and my employees are struggling just to make it day by day? That makes no sense. In what world does that make any sense? At least to me, it doesn't. Like, I don't care how rich, if diverse mentality becomes this, well, let's just say $500 million company, it's huge. Like, every single one of my employees would have full insurance, leave whenever they wanted to. Leave, I mean, like, take vacation, paid vacations, whatever I could afford to do that wouldn't hurt the company in any way, shape, or form. And even I don't care. I wouldn't want to be, if I was owning a $500 million company, I wouldn't want to be worth $200 to $300 million. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, I would trickle down. I'd be worth $50 billion. What is 200 and 300 million going to be difference from 50 million? Like, that's an astronomical amount of money difference, obviously, if you were to get it. But lifestyle wise, I don't give a fuck about yachts. I could care less about these really extravagant, expensive things. I'd have some nice cars, yeah, because I just like cars. That's just my thing. But I wouldn't really live extravagantly to the point where I would need 200 and 300 million every year. 10, 20 million, whatever the amount would do for me, 5 million, whatever my lifestyle is at that moment, is fine, man. You don't have to have all that money. Employees, I'd rather, if it was an average wage of what, I don't know, 70,000 a year, I'd give my employees double, 140,000. Stay with us, bill with us, and we'll increase it. We'll give you guys bonuses. To me, that's just how I roll. I think trickling down all would just helps companies, helps everything. Sorry for that rant, but good thing for Revolt, man. All the shares from Diddy are going to, employees. That's good, man. So at least something good came out of this Diddy shit that's going on. More Diddy information. Diddy was stripped of his honorary Howard University degree as schools move to sever all ties. Everybody's severing ties. Diddy has been stripped of his honorary degree at the Howard University amid the mounting physical and sexual assault allegations against him. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the esteemed HBCU announced Friday, June 7th, that they'd revoke the degree they originally bestowed upon the embattled mogul in 2014, following a unanimous vote from its board of trustees. Diddy attended Howard from 1987 to 1989, but never graduated as he left to pursue his career. Mr. Combs' behavior, as captured in a recently released video, is so fundamentally incompatible with Howard University's core values and beliefs that he is deemed no longer worthy to hold the institution's highest honor, the board said in a statement. The university is unwavering in its opposition to all acts of interpersonal violence. The school will also be terminating a 2016 gift agreement with Diddy, disbanding the scholarship that had been established in his name and returning his $1 million contribution. Additionally, they'll be canceling a pledge agreement with Sean Combs Foundation that was made in 2023, just weeks before Cassie's bombshell lawsuit. The statement confirmed that no payments toward the 2023 pledge has been made, however, so no funds need to be returned on that one. The degree stripping arrives after, that's a wild thing to say, the degree stripping arrives after news that Diddy's former Revolt, yeah, we just talked about that. I never understood why universities give celebrities like degrees. They didn't fucking attend. Like, yeah, he attended there, but he didn't finish. I don't give a fuck. An honorary degree just because you're famous? No. Fuck you. Like, I don't care. I would never want that shit. I went to a community college, which isn't the greatest thing ever. I never finished, but would I want them to be like, hey, because, you built diverse mentality, you're Quake, you're this and that, and you became this whatever, here's a degree. Like, I would be like, that's the dumbest thing ever. I'll just deny it because it's just stupid. There's students that work their asses off day in and day out for that degree. And then Diddy comes in because he's famous and rich. And, oh, yeah, I'm going to get the degree and I'm going to donate money for this degree and that. So, stupid overall. I never understood these things. But, hey, university getting any type of donation, they got to show some type of support to the person donating. So, I'm glad they took it away, though, and returned the money. Speaking of Diddy Moore, Suge Knight. Of course, Suge Knight's podcast is something that's always catching people's ears because Suge Knight's always an interesting person to hear from because obviously he dealt with Diddy back in the 90s, Death Row, Bad Boy, whole beef. Obviously we know what stemmed from that and then, what caused everything and all that. So let's listen to it, man. He calls Diddy an informant. This is something that's not new that Diddy's been accused of. Kanye West, I don't know, I could be wrong, was the first one to call Diddy a snitch, an informant for the FBI, and that's why Diddy can get away with a lot of things. So I don't know if Suge Knight is trolling and got that from Kanye West and is just repeating what Kanye West said, or if Suge Knight just wholeheartedly believed that throughout his whole time that he's known Diddy. So let's play the clip.
Everybody talking about Puffy. For the most part of it is this. At least he had a good one. He had a great one. There's a lot of things that people been knowing. Every person gets judged differently. It shouldn't be a gray area when it comes to doing something right, doing something positive, or being about the community. That's being said, actually, Puffy being an FBI informant forever, as they would say. That's why it's different when it comes to him. Regardless who get hurt, all of a sudden people saying, Puffy, Puffy, Puffy. I think they shouldn't all blame everything on Puffy. Executives in the industry knew about it. Everybody in his crew knew about it. Agency Date knew about it. Everybody knew about it. So don't push away from it now. Like I said before, there was a girl, was an assistant, when I said he beat the shit out of the bitch. How I described how he kicked her, how she said all this stuff happened. And bodyguard and Jimmy Iovine came and talked to her and said she got to take this money and settle. And Interscope gave her the check. So that's supporting criminal activities from Interscope and Jimmy that he was doing. But now they want to bury Puffy and not bring harm or charges against anyone else. And one of the main reasons is because he was doing this to a lot of black women, or mixed women, or different races. So they don't think our people is valuable. They think our people is worthless. That's the real reason. Which is not. Everybody should be treated the same.
I agree, man. I agree with the fact that, Diddy had a lot of people surrounding him that knew about these things. From the exes he dated, to the security guards, to, assistants, to whatever, artists. There's no way you do this for 30 years and you don't have people that notice or, are hiding things after all these years. Like that hotel, I believe it was the Hilton. Hilton as a company should get some type of punishment for hiding that footage, for getting paid off for that footage. Because that's ridiculous. The fact that Diddy could pay Hilton Hotel $50,000, get the surveillance footage, and they shut up about it, never heard about it till now. Like, had Diddy not kept that footage, because I think that's where it came from, of Diddy's house raid, the FBI found it there. Had Diddy not kept that footage, we probably would have never heard about it ever in our lives. We probably would have heard about it because Cassie obviously put it in the lawsuit, but we never would have seen it with our own eyes, is what I mean. Sorry, let me correct myself there. But yeah, same thing with R. Kelly. All those years doing things to underage girls, whatever. The R. Kelly stuff is just ridiculous. He had women hiding under a boxing ring that he had, and they were living under there. It was some weird maniac shit. But all these things are okay because, hey, Diddy's a multimillionaire, basically a billionaire. He can pay for your silence. He can pay. He's got power to do things, so he can get away with a lot of these things. And Suge Knight's saying he's an FBI informant. That's why he gets away with a lot of things. That's the same thing Kanye West said. He said Diddy can pop off all these things because Diddy can get away with these things. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that people think about this. These are celebrities that we know of. These are people in front of the camera, in front of the limelight that we know about that are really rich that get away with these things. Now, think about the really rich people that we don't know about, that are not in the limelight, that are just out here rich, that if they walked past us, we wouldn't know who they are, but they're really rich. Think about the evil things that they... Now, I'm not saying... I don't want to say that every rich person is an evil person. That's messed up to say. That's not the case, but let's just throw 70% of them are, right? There's a 30% that are really good, that genuinely mean good, that use their money for good. There is a lot of those too as well. We got to give props where it's due, but let's just say 70% is bad, right? Think about how many of those are really rich that do horrible, evil things that we'll never hear about because these guys aren't in the limelight. And they're rich enough to just pay people off and pay people to turn the other cheek, and that's it. Like I said, I would be a horrible music industry or whoever industry type of person. Because the second I see that shit, I'm telling, I'm snitching, I'm going to the witness stand. Put me in protective custody. I don't know what the fuck, witness protective custody. I'm snitching, I'm telling everything I saw from every detail. That day, I will know every detail, even though I suck at remembering details. I will remember that bullshit because I would not let that shit slide, period. That's some fucked up shit. I don't care what kind of power you got. I don't care the money that you got. I could give two fucks. If I get killed doing it, I will at least know I died being an honorable person. Because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at night knowing that I saw something like that and just ignored it. But most people aren't like that, unfortunately. People can be bought out morally. They don't have morals. They don't stand on anything. And that's the thing. A lot of these people, like Suge Knight says, should get some type of, punishment for that. Jimmy Iovine, if he actually did pay that lady to just make the thing go away, that's fucked up. Like, Jimmy Iovine shouldn't have done that. But, hey, man, money, unfortunately, is above a lot of things for a lot of people. Making more money is more important than doing the right thing for a lot of people. So, it's sad, man. Unfortunate, but, yeah, Suge Knight's got some interesting things to say. I don't know if it's from the best person's mouth, because Suge Knight's got a weird history as well, that he's done a lot of things. But, nevertheless, it's interesting always whenever Suge Knight speaks. But, yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see if anything else Suge Knight has to say in the future. Man, oh man, it's getting really, really weird out here, man. The Dream has been hit with rape, battery, and sex trafficking allegations in a new lawsuit. Yes, The Dream. This is an R&B artist who is an outstanding writer as well. He wrote Rihanna's Umbrella. A lot of records, man. I just can't think of them on the top of my head, but that's the first one that comes up. Let's go over the article. The Dream has been hit with very serious allegations, including rape, battery, and sex trafficking by a former protege in a new lawsuit filed in a California federal court on Tuesday, June 4th. According to the Hollywood Reporter, how do you pronounce his name? Chinez Mongro claims that the super producer promised to promote her and her career, but ended up violating her trust. The lawsuit claims that The Dream trapped her in an abusive, violent, and manipulative relationship filled with physical assaults, violent sexual encounters, and horrific psychological manipulation. He's also allegedly promised to finance and procure her visa, promised her an opening spot on Beyonce's latest tour, and even to write her a series of blockbuster songs. Instead, he allegedly isolated her in a hotel, had her check in several times a day, and would otherwise control her every move. In 2015, The Dream allegedly ramped up his control of Mongro by flying her out to Atlanta, where he locked Miss Mongro in a dark room adjacent to a recording studio, violently having sex with her and then leaving her alone naked in the dark for hours on end, returning to again have sex with her and demand that she tell him she loved him. Another time, he allegedly responded to a rebuffing of his advances by choking her out. Finally, she claims that Epic Records benefited from the super producer's continued alleged rape and abuse, so she is including them in the lawsuit as well. She was left in the dark throughout the entire process, despite both Contra and Epic Records having a signed contract and owing corporate responsibilities to her, despite agents of both entities knowing that Miss Mongro had been subjected of Dream's violent and coercive manipulation, which they knew or should have known were predicated of fraudulent promises of record contracts, Grammys, and opening for Beyonce, the lawsuit read. The Dream didn't return the outlet's request for comment, but he did release a statement regarding the allegations. These claims are untrue and defamatory, he said. I oppose all forms of harassment and have always strived to help people realize their career goals. As someone committed to making a positive impact on my fellow artists and world at large, I am deeply offended and saddened by these accusations. Hey, so I don't think, I could be wrong, because I was wrong on the Chris Brown thing. I don't think he's ever been accused of anything like this. I don't know. I'm just going to take it for the fact that I've never heard of The Dream of being accused of something like this. So I'm going to take it for face value and say that he's never been accused of anything like this, right? So what's my rule, basically? If this is the first time you get accused of something like this, you got to give the benefit of the doubt to basically, actually, hold up. I might be wrong. Let's see, legal issues. The Dream was arrested in June 2013 for alleged domestic violence incident, but his girlfriend, Lydia, declined to press charges. Okay. The Dream was arrested on May 7, 2014 on charges of felony assault and strangulation, reckless endangerment, and child endangerment against his then pregnant girlfriend, Lydia, for his alleged actions on April 4th, 2013. While they were staying at the Plaza Hotel in New York, the charges were dismissed at a brief appearance in Manhattan criminal court. And then he's been recently accused of it, but this was in 2015, she said. So there could have been a moments in 2013 to 2015 where the dream was, how Diddy said, I was going through some stuff. I wasn't me, blah, blah, blah. That's no excuse. I'm not using that as an excuse, but hey, she said that this happened around 2015, and he's been accused of this type of stuff by his wife, I guess, pregnant girlfriend. Yeah, girlfriend, not even wife, in 2013 and 2014. So, hey, I usually have the rule of this is the first time you've been charged with something like this, I'm willing to give the person the benefit of the doubt, because you got to think a lot of these people are in positions of power and wealth. So what's the best way to kind of ruin that is to have a rape charge come at you, or sexual, whatever charge. That's really going to make people look down on you. So if it's the first time you've ever been charged with something like that, I think people should give the benefit of the doubt and be like, okay, we don't know what's going on. This could be just a money grab, right? Not saying that every time a guy gets or anybody gets charged for the first time of this, it's a money grab, but just give the benefit of the doubt. But if it starts to happen, like right now, the third time, nah, bro, there's something where there's smoke, there's fire. Exact same type of situation here. I didn't know about the 2013, 2014 stuff. Yeah, man. Not good, man. And if you did this type of stuff, locking her up, like this is the same type of shit R. Kelly was doing. What's up with these R&B guys just having these type of issues, man? Chris Brown having his weird things. R. Kelly, Dream. Like, something's wrong with these R&B guys, man. They're not really normal in the head, man. They're supposed to be loving women. They're supposed to be the gentle ones to women. These motherfuckers more aggressive than rappers. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted, man. Hopefully, hopefully the truth comes out. That's really all you got to say about this, man. We don't know who's telling the truth, but there's a lot of smoke over there, Mr. Dream. So you probably turned into a nightmare for a lot of people if a lot of these things are true. So we'll keep our eyes posted and see if there's any updates moving forward with this. Speaking of lawsuits, Kanye West has been hit with one as well. And this is a weird lawsuit, man. But I wanted to talk about this because I know the actual manager. And I know an artist this manager signed. So I have somewhat of a connection to what's going on here, but not like to an extreme extent. So I wanted to talk about it. Kanye West is facing a sexual harassment lawsuit filed by his former assistant, Lauren Pisciata, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, who has accused him of masturbating in front of her. According to court documents, Pisciata began working with Kanye in 2021 after being offered $1 million to be his executive assistant / personal assistant on the condition she would make herself available to him on a 24/7 basis. Around this time, Pisciata says she was already making 7 figures annually from OnlyFans until the Chicago rap icon offered her an additional $1 million to delete her account because he wanted her to become godlike. According to the lawsuit, this is when Ye began behaving inappropriately, including sending her explicit text messages. One message allegedly read, "See, my problem is I be wanting to fuck, but then after I fuck, I want a girl to tell me how hard they've been fucked while I'm fucking them. Then I want her to cheat on me." In another, he allegedly asked Pisciata, "Is my dick racist?" And he added, "I'm going to stare at pictures of white women with black asses and beat the shit out of my racist dick." Very weird, if that's true. She also claims that West was fixated on the penis size of her boyfriends and would send her photos and videos of himself having sex with the model. Pisciata further accuses the rapper of masturbating in front of her twice, once while they were on the phone, and again when he allegedly locked the two of them in a private room during a flight to Paris. After shutting the door, she claims the rapper laid down on a bed as she sat in the chair opposite of him, and he began to pleasure himself under the covers until he fell asleep. Pisciata was later fired by Kanye in October 2022, just a month after she allegedly turned down a $4 million a year role as the chief of staff. So this girl, Lauren Pisciata, she used to manage a girl by the name of Nikki Heaton. Nikki Heaton blew up back in 2000, I want to say 13, 14, somewhere around there. And the way she blew up was because of me. I'm not even joking. I used to have a hip-hop website called diversehiphop.com. Around that time, I was getting lots of viewers. We're talking 50 to 100,000 unique visitors every day. Unique means individual people, not like revisits. If we're talking revisits, it was like anywhere to like 500,000, something like that, right? So we're getting 50 to 100,000 people pretty much every day going to the website because we were supposed to do music, whatever the case may be, whatever hip hop related. That's how I got into all this stuff. And I noticed Nikki Heaton, she did a cover of Chief Keef's Love Sosa, but did like a guitar cover, right? It was like a unique take style on it. So I noticed it. I hit her up and I was like, hey, I'm going to post this on my website. She's like, yeah, cool, thanks. Literally after I posted on my website, mind you, this had like low amount of views. It wasn't even much. WorldStar took it and posted it. Obviously, WorldStar is way bigger than my website. We're talking 100 times maybe bigger. I don't know what they did in numbers, but at the time, WorldStar was the hottest thing, period. I mean, if you got knocked out, somebody would yell out WorldStar, whatever. So they took it from my website. How I know that is because one of the chief, whatever the hell, executive, whatever, whoever the editors there were like, yeah, do you know this girl's contact? Who is this girl? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't really know her like that. I just found out about it, posted on my website, and then they posted it. So that's when she really blew up. Like with me, she got like, the video was like at 1,000 views already, but she got like maybe 5,000 views, maybe 4,000 to 5,000 off me, which is decent. Back then in YouTube, that's not bad, man. But then once WorldStar posted her, it was like she just blew the fuck up. So she blew up. This Lauren girl started to manage her. Next thing I know, after basically talking with her, saying, hey, can I get an interview with you? Let's actually do a sit-down interview. Let's talk about your history. Like, this would be great for my website because you just blew up. And, you know, we both benefit. It'd be great for my website. It'd be great for you because now more people get to know about you. You know, people will reference the interview, blah, blah, blah. So I was trying to build this early relationship with her because I knew if she focused on her music, she would blow the fuck up. Like, she's got the beauty, obviously. Got the voice, got the talent. It's possible. Well, after she blows up, blocks me, and we never get in contact ever. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I did nothing. All I did was help you. That's it. Ignored me, blocked me, done. And I was like, that's some piece of shit behavior. Like, that's horrible. And look what happened. Like, karma hit her. Music never took off. She did a song with Migos. Shit flopped. She's done music with other artists. Shit flopped. Because she probably moved bad. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that Lauren is like that, but birds of a feather flock together. Let's just say that. Maybe Lauren was the one that instilled that in her. Because I don't know. Maybe she's like that herself. Very weird, man. Very weird moving. I never stopped helping artists regardless of that, but just made me look at some people differently, man. I was like, damn, it's so stupid to do something like that to somebody that just helps you, that literally basically gave you your career. Had I never posted that video, I don't think it ever got posted on WorldStar. I'm just sitting there because finding that type of video and posting it, you know, like the chances of it, if it only having 1,000 views, very slim. Or it could be wrong, you know, it could have gone viral by itself. I don't know. We don't know, but I know that I had a role in it going on WorldStar, which made her blow up. Like, if it wasn't for me posting it on my website, WorldStar would have never hit me up and never grabbed it from my website and posted it on their website. It would have never happened. So when I read this lawsuit, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kanye, you know, he's got some things about him that are not perfect, but I don't know. Here's the thing that kind of proves maybe Kanye, not proves, but I don't want to say proves. That's a strong word. But maybe you could kind of think that he might be innocent because he's countersuing. Usually somebody that's guilty doesn't countersue. He automatically countersued. So let's go over the article. Kanye West has announced that he will countersue his former assistant Lauren over claims he sexually assaulted her, harassed her. In a lawsuit filed earlier this week, she accused him of doing a bunch of crazy things, which you just read about. Kanye has now denied the claims and accused Piscata of attempting to extort him. Ye's legal representative told TMZ, in response to these baseless allegations, Ye will be filing a lawsuit against Ms. Piscata, who actively pursued him sexually to coerce employment and other material benefits, then engaged in blackmail and extortion when her advances were rejected. The Chicago natives team also accused his former assistant of stealing his phone in an attempt to erase evidence that would disprove her claims. So, evidence. That's crazy. Piscata also sued West for wrongful termination, which has representatives also refute. They instead claim her employment was ended because she was unqualified and made outrageous salary demands, as well as engaging in lascivious, unhinged conduct. Kanye's team further accused Piscata of sending nude images of herself to the rapper, as well as trying to solicit him for sex and frequently making demands for luxury items such as Birkin bags and a Lamborghini sports car, all of which were denied by the Yeezy team. The mogul's attorneys also claimed she attempted to shake him down for tens of millions of dollars before filing the lawsuit in court. Piscata has not yet responded to West's plan to countersue. According to Piscata's lawsuit, Ye acted inappropriately while he was with her boss, blah, blah, blah. So we read about that. So he hasn't completely countersued. He's going to. So we'll keep our eyes out and actually see if he does that. All this is doing is just giving this woman more clout and more fame, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know who's lying. I have no idea. She is very, very fucking beautiful. I will say that. I would be lying if I don't say that. But she is beautiful. She's got something going on. But I would never do those type of things in front of a female because it's just weird for one. And why? That's the real, it's just a weird thing to do. But we don't know who's telling the truth, but I'm just telling you my history of this woman as well as the artist that she was managing at the time. Treated me poorly. So I don't know. I'm not taking Kanye's side. I'm not taking Lauren's side, but I just want to tell you guys about that story because this is a great time for me to tell it. So birds of a feather flock together. So I don't know. That's just my take on it, but we'll keep our eyes posted and see what happens as the days go on. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Golden Eagle for sponsoring this podcast. Yes, if it wasn't for Golden Eagle, this podcast wouldn't be possible. If you're looking for an energy drink that doesn't tear a hole in your pocket, Golden Eagle energy drink is the one you want to get. Golden Eagle has the smoothest taste with no aftertaste. You don't get acid reflux when you drink it, and you will save a lot of money. So check out Golden Eagle at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. The link is in the description below. And how do you think this podcast would be possible without me having energy to do it? Come on, guys. You guys got to remember this. I need energy to do this stuff, man, because there's a lot of crazy topics. So look how smooth this thing sounds. Look at it. Oh, my God. It's fresh. Look at that Golden Eagle. Look at the can. It's so beautiful, too, man. Look at that. That's so fresh, man. So fresh. Golden Eagle energy drink. Go to the link description below. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Let's continue the episode. 50, a.k.a. Ferrari F50. This is interesting, man. This is something interesting that I think, 50's kind of taking his neck off of his foot off of Diddy's neck. These, past couple of days / week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. And there's an interesting reason why. So first, 50 and his attorney, Ben Crump, decided to go to Capitol Hill, Congress. And they talked to Congress leaders about basically African Americans' role or ownership in liquor companies and music. And he faced a lot of backlash for this because he was taking photos with a bunch of Republicans, Democrats, whatever. I could give two fucks about either party because they're both trash and they're not for the benefit of us as Americans in America. But I could care less about any of that stuff. I think he got a lot of backlash because people are saying, why is he advocating for black people to do just for music and liquor? Like, those are the two things that's all we're good for, music and liquor. I don't think that's the approach that 50's taking. I think 50's saying, hey, we have a huge influence in both these fields. So why don't we have ownership in these fields? I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? So let's go over our article. 50 Cent and his renowned civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, have joined forces to bring the fight for more black ownership in the liquor industry to Congress. The Sire Spirits mogul and high-powered lawyer visited Capitol Hill on Wednesday, June 5th, to meet with congressional leaders to advocate for more minority representation in the multi-billion-dollar luxury spirits business. According to a press release, the discussion will focus on the black wealth agenda, the widening of the wealth gap, and corporate America's marginalization of black-owned companies. Crump, who is now on 50's legal team, in his battle against business partners Beam Suntory, and has previously represented the families of Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor, said ahead of their visit, "I am pleased to join the legal team representing Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, as he is one of the most successful black entrepreneurs in America, and even he is not immune to the biased treatment that faces minority businesses owners every day. He has been relentless in his fight to seek fairness and justice over the way he was treated by the corporate giant in the luxury spirits industry. Mr. Jackson's journey has been a testament to how much a determined individual can succeed through hard work and vision, and yet he still must contend with the oppression that comes from being a minority business owner. We are committed to helping Mr. Jackson demonstrate the true power of not just his television acumen, but also the power of consumers to make corporate America allow a seat at the table for hardworking black entrepreneurs." So basically, 50's, so that company, Beam Suntory, is that company that scammed him, or not really, well, one of the employees there in the company just kind of finessed him out of a lot of money. Basically scammed him, stole money from him. Basically what this person did was he would take inventory of 50 Cent's liquor and he would mark them higher up, and the margins would be lower for a lot of stores, so they would stock it less. As a store owner, you would want to sell the things that have higher margins because you would make more profit off them. So you would put them in front of the store, try to get them to sell more. The things that have less margins, you would put back there because you put more in the back because you don't make a lot of money off of it. So this guy was taking a huge cut of the margins of whatever liquor that was being sold and marking up the wholesale prices. And it obviously screwed the company over. But 50 made an interesting point. And he's kind of defending Diddy with this post. So 50 posted the article of his lawyer going to Capitol Hill. And this is what 50 said in the caption. Very interesting. He said, "Puffy made Diageo a lot of money with Ciroc. They were fine with that because he didn't own anything. Soon as he owns Deleon, the relationship can't work. I made, which is that company that, what's the company called right here? Let me get that name right. Beam Suntory, which they changed their name to Suntory Global Spirits. He said, a lot of money with F and vodka. But as soon as I own my own brands, they did me dirty. They want black consumers, but they don't want black business owners." True story. This is interesting because obviously 50 hates Diddy, put his foot on his neck consistently. But he says, listen, there's something here that's going on with Diddy as well that went really wrong. That he didn't own these companies. When he wanted to own these companies, all of a sudden there's a lot of issues with a lot of things going on. I'm not saying that, hey, these lawsuits that Diddy got hit with are because he wanted to own his company. This is not that Bill Cosby theory of, oh, he wanted to buy CBS and this is why he got hit with all these things. That's a bullshit thing. Surveillance footage proved that Diddy actually did these things, beat the shit out of Cassie right on that video. So there's no defending Diddy. But the second, Diddy was like, hey, I want to own my own company, my own thing, my own liquor, and I want to promote it more. They're like, fuck no, nah. Like, you're not promoting this as much. And he ended up suing them, and eventually they ended up settling because of the lawsuits that Diddy had to face. So eventually Diddy had to leave that company and so on and so forth. But, hey, there's something there behind the scenes, and it makes sense. So, I think 50 kind of gave kind of respect to Diddy in a way by saying, hey, he dealt with this type of bullshit. And look at all the things he's going through right now. It's easy to destroy somebody's image and have them give up everything. But he's saying whenever Diddy tried to move that way, all of a sudden he was having issues with the company. And the same thing with 50. So 50 didn't own F and vodka. And 50's always the type to try to own everybody that listen, when I did the Give It Your Die Trying documentary, I wanted to get 50 on there. I tried my best to get 50 on there. I talked to so many people that were close to him, so many things, right? Everybody said, though, are you sure you want to get 50 on here? Because he's the type that likes to own things. So he will probably own this whole documentary. And I was like, I don't care, man. I'm not here to make money. I still haven't profited from the Give It Your Die Trying thing. I maybe made 40% of my money back from that. I would love to do more of them, but I need to be able to make money off those to do those. So the only way I can think of me doing more is if, like, Patreon. You guys support me on Patreon, which everybody that does, the $3, $10, $25, like, that could be used towards making these type of documentaries. But right now, I don't have too many Patreon supporters to be able to fund it. So if I can push the Patreon thing more and more people sign up, then yeah, I can do those type of documentaries. Like that's the only way. It'd have to be like a crowdfunding type of thing. But yeah, it's a whole different story. I'm getting off sidetracked here. But yeah, 50 didn't own F and vodka, but he ended up selling whatever part he did in it for $60 million, made his money, and then started doing his own thing that he actually owns, because 50 is the type to try to own what he puts out there. If he doesn't own a percentage of it, he doesn't really have a motivation to promote it, because 50 works hard in promoting stuff. Like F and vodka, even though a lot of people shitting on it, it was moving units. It was moving units. It was starting to catch up to Ciroc. Not like completely catch up, but it was doing its thing. And then once 50 stopped, got off it, nobody's talking about F and vodka anymore. It's out of here. So interesting, man. Interesting that 50 said this, and we'll see. We'll see what 50 does with these things, with these Capitol Hill things. Hopefully, it makes actual change, and hopefully, it leads to other things, man. I think everybody should have ownership in things, man. Every race should be an even playing field, but we know that's not the case in a lot of these things. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. Kendrick Lamar. This is an interesting story relating to Kendrick Lamar. It's got something to do with the teacher playing the All Right music video. Yes, we gonna be all right from To Pimp a Butterfly. So let's go over the article. Kendrick Lamar shifted hip-hop culture with the release of To Pimp a Butterfly in 2015, though one of the album's standout singles and its accompanying music video has been stirring up a frenzy in Northeast United States over the past few years. On Tuesday, June 4th, town council members in Vernon, Connecticut unanimously approved a $100,000 lawsuit settlement to cover the damages pertaining to a case filed 2 years ago. In 2020, a social studies teacher at Vernon Center Middle School showed his 8th grade classroom the documentary Hip Hop Songs That Shook America. Among the subversive material birthed by the long-standing tradition of rap, the film features the visual for Kendrick Lamar's All Right, which tackles police brutality and racism. According to a lawsuit filed in 2022, the instructor was aware that one of his students was the son of a law enforcement official. It also argued that the video depicted officers as murderers and contained other shockingly violent scenes and controversial statements about police officers. Because the boy in question had a diagnosed learning disorder and individualized education plan, the plaintiff claimed that the incident caused him emotional and physical, psychological distress. According to New Haven Register, this includes post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, shock, confusion, sadness, feeling unsafe. Geez, how many lists of things? And social withdrawal, some or all of which necessitate psychological treatment and counseling, and if unresolved, pose the risk of severe mental illness, along with physical manifestations that include nausea, headaches, whatever the hell that's, malaise. The student is also alleged to have been stigmatized for being the child of a police officer, which caused friends and others to disassociate with them, according to the lawsuit. Damn, they thought of everything when it comes to the lawsuit. I mean, we're talking all these confusion, depression, shock, sadness, this manifestation, nausea, headaches. Additionally, legal documents claim that some or all of the aforementioned injuries necessitated the student change schools as a result, which he suffered a loss and damages. The Board of Education will most likely finalize this settlement next week, considering Superintendent Joseph McCurry was at the aforementioned council meeting. We always do what's in the best interest of the students, and each student is different, so each decision is different, but it's always what's best for the kids, he said about the ongoing matter. Despite the spot of controversy, Kendrick Lamar's All Right has been otherwise showered with acclaim, thanks in part to becoming the unofficial anthem of the Black Lives Matter movement. Interesting, man. A teacher does something, and boom, the son or the child of the parents win $100,000. You know what I saw on TikTok? This is interesting. I saw that most people that end up becoming wealthy usually win a lawsuit of a lot of money and become smart with that money and invest in, become, invested into business or just stocks and stuff like that and become wealthy. So what am I saying here? I'm not saying sue, but don't always look at people that are successful and be like, damn, why can't I be like that? Or damn, I wish I was as smart as them. Sometimes you don't know the backstory of how these people got to where they're at. This is no shot at Vlad TV at all. But when he got beat up by Rick Ross's team, William Roberts' team, he won a lot of money in the settlement. I don't know what the amount was, but it was a lot of money. I think it was six figures, somewhere, I think it was like 400,000. I could be wrong. But that's a lot of money to get at one point. You can invest that, and I'm assuming what Vlad did was invest into Vlad TV and expanded and grew a lot bigger. Right now, if I got $400,000, trust me, diverse mentality, you would notice a difference. You would be like, what the fuck, Quake, night and day difference, because that's a lot. That's an astronomical amount of money being injected into your business. I say that to say there's a lot of people that end up in these type of situations where they win lawsuits. I was talking to somebody who got a settlement out of, he jumped, there's this like, what is it? It's kind of like an adventure park that opened up, and there was a trampoline, and somehow the trampoline had a fault, and his leg got caught in the trampoline, and like it broke his leg. He ended up suing and won like $3 million. So think about that. $3 million you win. If you're smart with that money and invest it, it forever changes your life. So in this situation, I hope the kid's all right. I don't know if the kid actually suffered from all those things, because that's a lot of things to suffer from just a simple music video. But $100,000, if used properly, because $100,000 is a lot of money, but it also can be spent quick. I mean, you buy a car, $40,000, buy your wife a car, $40,000, boom, most of the money's gone. Whatever, just whatever amount. But that's a lot of money, man. So you got to think about these things when they settle these lawsuits. A lot of people, that's how they get rich. And the lady on TikTok was telling me how most people in Atlanta, they're in lawsuits, and that's how they got rich. They won a lawsuit, they sued, won, boom. That's how they got the jump start in a lot of businesses. So very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see if Kendrick Lamar ever like heard about this story, but yeah, we'll see if anything new happens. I doubt it. Maybe Kendrick might say something, but who knows? And finally, we are talking about Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us track, which is the track that was released probably 12 hours after he released Meet the Grams, and it was the third track released within 24 hours of this whole Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle. This was the nail in the coffin for Kendrick Lamar when it came to this battle, because this would be the last track we get from him regarding the battle. After this, Drake ended up releasing The Heart Part 6, which I will be breaking down after this video. And that's it for the battle. They had their tracks back and forth, but it's been over a month now, and they haven't released anything new going towards each other. So let's break down Not Like Us. This is the track that most people didn't expect Kendrick Lamar to come with, which is a club banger. They expected Drake to take this route and be the one that has this song that is a diss track that's being played all over the clubs. And Drake even said it on Family Matters that he would have, the whole fucking club singing to it. But ultimately, Kendrick Lamar pulled a move that what Drake would pull, but he did it on him and flipped it. Let's go over the artwork, and let's go over then the bars. The artwork is fairly simple. It is Drake's house in Toronto, the mansion, the embassy that Kendrick Lamar said is going to get raided on Meet the Grams. And on top of Drake's house in this artwork are sex offender markers. These are the markers that are used on apps to notify people of a sex offender that lives nearby you. And that's what the artwork is. It's fairly simple, and it correlates really well with the track. So let's go over the bars. The song starts out with Kendrick Lamar saying, "Psst, I see dead people," which is paying homage to not only his track Euphoria, where he says, "Am I battling ghost or AI? Guy feeling like Jolene Austin. Funny, who was in a film called AI, and my sixth sense telling me to off him." The line, "Psst, I see dead people," is from the movie The Sixth Sense, which he referred to in Euphoria, which is played by Haley Joel Osment.
I see dead people.
So he's playing on that from Euphoria and starting it out saying, "Hey, it's over. It's finished. You're out of here." Then the track starts with the first verse saying, "Hey, Mustard on the beat, ho," which is DJ Mustard, the producer. Of course, in the early 2010s, that was his producer tag that he would have on every track that he produced. And of course, on Not Like Us, DJ Mustard is the producer. Then in the next line, he says, "Debo, any rap guy, he a free throw." Debo is a character played in Friday where he would bully people, and Chris Tucker in the movie ended up like tucking in his chain because he was scared of Debo. Debo was this guy around the block that would do whatever.
Oh shit! Here come Debo. Give me your stuff.
Oh, shit. Known for jacking the nigga. That's all he do. Damn.
So he's saying, "I will bully any rapper here." And then he says he a free throw. Free throw in basketball is a free shot which is easy. Those are the easiest shots to make in the NBA. So he's saying it's going to be so easy, just like a free throw. Then he says, man down, call an ambulance, tell him breathe, bro. This is an interesting triple entendre. It starts out with man down, which is a military thing that people say when a soldier is injured. Man down, call an ambulance. And this first layer is fairly simple. Just, hey, someone's down, get an ambulance. He needs help. He needs medics. The second layer to this line is how Kendrick Lamar says amber lamps instead of ambulance. And the reason why he says amber lamps is to pay homage to a 2010 viral video of a guy getting beat up in Oakland, California. It was during a bus ride where the guy beats him up, and then the guy that got beat up says, call an amber lamps, the way he pronounces it. Maybe it's just a California thing, the slang talk in there, that's how they pronounce it, but Kendrick Lamar seemingly pays homage to that video with this line.
Bring ambulance.
And then the third layer is saying amber lamps could also be an allusion to doing an amber alert. Amber alerts get sent out to people's phones whenever there's some type of human trafficking going on as well, or someone's gone missing. Then in the next line he says, nail a guy to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. Here, Kendrick Lamar is calling for Drake's crucifixion, which typically ties into getting nailed to a cross. And he also mentions Tizo, which is an artist who famously has a bunch of nails around his head. So he's just using that comparison to explain that. Then Kendrick says, what's up with these jabroni-ass guys trying to see Compton? Jabroni is just slang for, stupid, dumb, corny. What's up with this corny guy trying to see Compton? Basically, Drake has said, hey, I'm bigger than Kendrick Lamar in Compton. I'm bigger in your city. When I come there, it's more love. I mean, it's evident with the Game and Drake video 100 where he pulls up, everybody shows him love. So Kendrick's like, what's your obsession with Compton? Why are you trying to, be this guy that you're not? And you're trying to show up in Compton like you're some hero of Compton when I've been here my whole life doing what I do. Then Kendrick Lamar says, the industry can hate me. Fuck them all and they mama. How many ops you really got? I mean, it's too many options. So here, Kendrick Lamar is doubling down on destroying Drake. He's saying, I don't care if those music industry record label execs hate me forever, because there were rumors going around that they wanted this battle to stop because Drake's image was getting destroyed with the whole pedophile thing and all the stuff that's surrounding him when it comes to who he's surrounded with Baca and just OVO as a brand getting destroyed. So he's saying, I don't care if those labels come at me and say they're going to destroy my career or try to stop things. I could care less. I'm going to go at you and destroy you. Then he says, how many ops you really got? Meaning everybody's attacking you right now because everybody hates your guts. There's too many options to choose from of who you can go after. So go after me. I'm the best one. But then in the next line, Kendrick Lamar says, I'm finna pass on this body. I'm John Stockton. So he's saying, I already destroyed Drake and Drake already has 90 million ops. So I'm going to pass it to somebody else to keep destroying him. And this is a reference to John Stockton, who is the all-time assist leader in the NBA. And then he says, beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching, which is just a hard line, man. It's a hard line. I mean, I don't. And this line is just simple. Hey, I'm sinning here, but I'm gonna do it in a respectful way, not in front of the holy book. I'm gonna hide it and still beat your ass. Then he says, sometimes you gotta pop out and show guys. Certified boogeyman. I'm the one that upped the score with him. And this is a direct response to Drake's tailor-made freestyle where he says, you're supposed to be the boogeyman. Go do what you do, which was used in Tupac's AI voice. So Drake was taunting him, saying, you're this boogeyman, you're going to destroy me, all this stuff. Well, do what you do. And then he said, hey, I am a certified boogeyman. I'm the one that upped the score, meaning we're matched, tie. If, you had all these battles and maybe you won these battles, but I'm the one that can match you and destroy you. Then he says, walk him down whole time. I know he got some hoe in him. What Kendrick Lamar means by walking someone down, it's a term that's used not only in the streets, but also in the boxing world. The boxing world is more famously known for using it. And it means applying pressure. If two boxers are going at it, the one that is constantly applying the pressure and walking towards the opponent and boxing and punching and hitting consistently is the one that's walking him down. That's, being the bully, the aggressor in the situation. And that's what Kendrick Lamar is saying is, hey, I'm going to walk him down because I know he's a hoe. He's a little bitch. He's not going to do anything about it. Continuing on, Kendrick says, pull on him, extort shit, bully, death row on him. Here, Kendrick Lamar is backing Tupac once again. Death Row Records, which was a label Tupac was a part of, he's showing respect to Tupac and saying, we're going to pull the gun on him, which is the pull on him, and we're going to extort him out of everything that he's got. And then Bully Death Row on him is him saying, we're going to do what Suge Knight did in his heyday, which he would allegedly do is bully people out of their money, extort them. There's a infamous story of him extorting Vanilla Ice for the publishing rights of Ice Ice Baby. And, just a lot of stories of Suge Knight doing very, very, let's just say, aggressive tactics of business during Death Row days. And that's what Kendrick Lamar is alluding to here. Now, in these next lines is where Kendrick Lamar stops tiptoeing around the fact that Drake is around really, really underage girls. I mean, we're talking 14, 15-year-olds. He's been photographed by a lot of them. There's been rumors of dates of him being on dates with some of them. Basically, there's a lot of smoke in this field where Drake's at, and there really hasn't been fire yet found, but it's been smoky. So Kendrick Lamar doubles down on that and basically calls him out on that and says, say, Drake, I hear you like them young. Then he says, you better not ever go to cell block 1. And this is also referring to Meet the Grams, where he says him and Harvey Weinstein are going to share a cell. And Harvey Weinstein's been, accused of sex trafficking and just sexual assault, stuff like that. He's saying, get in a cell with Harvey Weinstein, and if you go to that cell block, you're going to get your ass beat because people do not take kindly in prison to pedophiles or rapers or abusers and of any sort when it comes to female or children. Then Kendrick says, to any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. Once again, alluding to the fact that he likes young girls. They tell me Chubb's the only one that gets your hand-me-downs. This is where he starts to attack Kendrick Lamar's OVO crew. Chubbs is Drake's basically personal security. He's always around Drake. I mean, every single time you see him out, Chubbs is right next to him. And he's saying that Chubbs is the one that gets the woman that you leave left over, hand-me-downs. Then he says, and Party at the party playing with his nose now. Now he's talking about Party Next Door, which is an artist signed to OVO. He was arrested back in 2017 while attempting to cross the U.S. and Canada border in possession of Xanax and oxycodone. So he's been playing with drugs, for a while, and people have speculated that he's on cocaine and that he enjoys that. And that's what Kendrick Lamar is saying here, that Party's playing with his nose. And then he says, and Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Baca is someone who signed also to Drake's OVO label, and he was arrested back in 2014 and charged with forcing a 22-year-old woman into prostitution and taking her money. Baca's trafficking case was dismissed after she refused to testify and was instead convicted of assaulting her. He mentioned Baca, and Drake has mentioned Baca in a few tracks and saying free Baca. So he's saying, why do you have this guy around your camp that does these things to women? That is a bad person. Like, OVO is just filled with horrible people. Then he says, certified lover boy, certified pedophile. He's playing on the Certified Lover Boy album. He's saying, you're not a lover boy, you're actually a pedophile. Then he says, wop, 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 dot, fuck him up, wop, 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 I'm going to do my stuff. Basically, wop is the punching noise, beating his ass. Fuck him up, everybody's saying, cheering him on. I'm going to do my stuff, keep cheering him on. Why you trolling like a bitch, he says. Aren't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. When he's talking about why you trolling, he's saying Drake is on, Instagram, always on social media, clowning Kendrick and trying to bait him to respond. He was doing that in between after, he dropped Push-Ups, the track, responding to Kendrick Lamar's Like That. Throughout social media, he was clowning Kendrick's team, clowning Kendrick, saying he ain't got nothing on me, he's scared, he's not the boogeyman. That trolling stuff. Same with the Tailor-Made freestyle where he used the AI voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. That's another trolling aspect. So he's saying, why are you trolling always? Ain't you tired of it? Like, grow up already. And then he says, trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. With trying to strike a chord, it's a double entendre, right? When you're playing a minor key, you are trying to strike a chord when you're playing that. But here he's saying, you're trying to strike a chord to me, meaning you're trying to get me to react to your trolling ways. You're trying to get me upset, but it's not working. And he's saying, if you do try to strike a chord, you're probably using a minor, which is another double entendre saying you like, underage kids and women and stuff like that. Then in the hook, it's simply, they not like us. And what he's saying here is, we're not weirdos like them. We're not interested in, underage people. We're not interested in doing drugs. We're not out here messing with escorts like Drake does. We don't disrespect women. They're nothing like us. They're just complete weirdos. They're not from this culture. They got nothing to do with actual hip-hop. They're just outsiders, and they're weirdos. Then in verse 2, Kendrick Lamar says, you think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pac. I think that Oakland show is gonna be your last stop. Here he's responding to Drake's tailor-made freestyle, where he used Tupac's AI voice to clown Kendrick Lamar. And a lot of people from the West Coast took that as super disrespectful towards Tupac, and so much so that Tupac's estate ordered a cease and desist, or they'd end up suing Drake for using Tupac's AI voice. So he said, you think you're going to just disrespect Tupac and the whole Bay Area is going to just let you rock with it? Well, the next Oakland show you do is going to be your last stop. They're going to stomp you out and you're never going to do shows here ever again. Then Kendrick says, did Cole foul? I don't know why you still pretended. I think what he's referring to here when he's saying did Cole foul is the fact that Drake on Family Matters and Push-Ups mentioned J. Cole in kind of a not really super disrespectful way, but basically said that, hey, this guy is, he ain't really up for battles. He's not a battle rapper. He's not like that. He's not built like that. In the track Push-Ups, he says, I don't care what Cole think. That dot shit was weak as fuck. And then in Family Matters, he says, and Cole losing sleep on this, it ain't me. So he's painting, Cole in this picture that he's weak, that he doesn't want to battle, that he's not, really this guy that he says that he is. So Kendrick is saying, you did him foul. You guys were cool on stage, showing love to each other, did a track first-person shooter, hyped him up. But now that this battle started, you discard him and call him weak and stuff like that. Then he says, what is the owl? Bird guys and bird bitches. Go. This is the OVO owl. He's saying they're birds. Birds are usually dumb, like females or people just in general. If you're a bird, you're a bird-ass, dumb-ass person. And then he says, the audience is not dumb. Shape the stories how you want to. Hey, Drake, they're not slow. Here he's talking about social media. Obviously, there's stories that are twisted and different perspectives. And of course, Drake has twisted the story into Kendrick Lamar being a woman beater, a wife beater, and him not wanting a family, and him never marrying his wife, stuff like that, that he's not really this family guy. And that's what Drake has been alluding to this whole time, that he's a woman beater, puts his hands on his wife. And he's saying, listen, you can shape the Mr. Morale stories, the way that I told the stories on there, and just my career in general of how I speak so vulnerably about my whole life. You can shape them how you want to, but people are not dumb. They're going to go over their lyrics, they're going to check the history, and they're going to see I've done nothing wrong. And then Kendrick Lamar takes it further and says, rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise, saying, I got more tricks in my bag here. We're just getting started. And I think there's been rumors that Kendrick Lamar has like 5 more diss tracks ready to go. That had it kept going, Kendrick would have gone there. And there's also been rumors that, hey, if Drake continuously sneak disses Kendrick Lamar after this battle, that Kendrick is going to continuously attack him directly and keep going and keep destroying him. Then he says, ain't that something? B-Rad stands for bitch and you Malibu's most wanted. I love this line because Malibu's Most Wanted is one of my favorite movies. It's a comedy movie that portrays this white guy who's not from anything street. He's actually the son of a governor that wants to become the governor of California. In the movie, his son is somebody who pretends to be this gangster rapper, this hardcore guy, because he got introduced to hip-hop at a young age. And he was actually Jewish in the movie at a bar mitzvah. So that's kind of correlation to Drake, with Kendrick Lamar. He's alluded to the fact that it's Drake. Then in the movie, he gets his father, his governor father, hires these gangsters, these fake gangsters that are actually actors that pretend to be gangsters that kidnap him to try to scare him out of being this gangster rapper, to show him that you're not really part of this life. But ultimately he ends up flipping out the fact that, he ends up becoming more gangsta as the movie goes on, but he realizes that these guys are actors, this is not real, and then he gets himself caught into some stuff, and then his dad regrets doing what he did because his son actually got into some real shit. But that's kind of the gist of the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, it's one of my favorite movies. It's just so funny. I mean, the comedy in it is hilarious. Even Snoop Dogg plays a rat in it, which is, most rappers don't want to play rats and snitches, but it's a little rat like that talks to him in the movie. So it's a funny movie, and I'm happy. He mentioned this line. B-Rad is actually the rapper name in the movie that the guy uses. I'm B-Rad, I'm the rapper, blah blah blah. So he says basically, you're him. You're this Jewish guy, this white guy that pretends to be this gangster guy, but when he actually gets put in these situations, he gets scared. Then Kendrick says, ain't no law, boy, you ball boy, fetch Gatorade or something. This is, Kendrick Lamar saying that Drake has no power. He's not this guy that can do whatever everybody says he can do. That he controls the labels and he controls these artists and he does this and that. He says, you're just a guy that's on the team that sits on the bench. Go fetch some Gatorade for the actual players that are playing this league. Then Kendrick says, since 2009, I had this bitch jumping. You guys will get a wedgie be flipped over your boxers. Here he's saying, I've been doing this a long time, and I'll bully you guys, just like how I mentioned in the first verse with using Debo as an example. I'm going to keep bullying you guys. Then he says, what is OVO for? The other vaginal option, pussy. And this is just a play on, OVO, the name, the other vaginal option. You guys are pussies. You guys are little girls. You guys aren't real men. Then he says, guys better start straightening their posture. Got famous all up in Compton. This could be a shot at OVO 40, which is Drake's close friend, producer, and engineer who actually has multiple sclerosis, and it affects his posture and his body. Pusha T is somebody that also clowned OVO 40 for this in his story of Adidon Diss. But he's saying, straighten up your posture. You have to show respect when you come to Compton. Because if you're going to be all up in Compton trying to get famous with the game, doing 100 with YG, doing the videos, show respect, have posture, put your shoulders up and show respect. Because usually when you have proper posture, and in my video, I'm actually not having proper posture because of this desk, but when you have proper posture and you walk around, you demand respect, people will look at you differently. And that's what Kendrick Lamar is basically saying. When you come to Compton, show that you're actually something if you want to be that famous here. Then Kendrick Lamar says, might write this for the doctorate. What he's saying here is that, a doctrine is something that is like the Holy Bible. It's like a scripture that people follow. It is like a set beliefs, taught by a church or political party or group. And what he's flexing here is that he's such a great writer that eventually this is gonna be holy, as time goes on. People are going to look back on this and be like, this guy's a genius because he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He's already won that. He's the first rapper to do that. So he flexes his muscle there. And then also, a doctorate can also be referring to a docket. A docket is a summary of proceedings in a court law. So Kendrick is saying that, in the future, they're going to use this track to get Drake arrested, which is the same thing he said on Meet the Grams, that the embassy is going to get raided, that Drake's, doing sex trafficking and likes underage females. So it's double entendre there. And then he says, tell the pop star, quit hiding. Fuck a caption, want action, no accident. Here he's saying, let's go bar for bar, man. You're over here writing captions, Instagram. Stop hiding. Stop trying to duck this fade. And then he says, and I'm hands-on. He fuck around, get polished. So Kendrick here is saying, I'll put my hands on him. My hands get dirty like a man's supposed to. You're over here painting your fingernails and getting your fingernails polished and looking all pretty. I'm actually a man here getting down there, getting dirty. Then he says this, fucked on Wayne girl while he was in jail. That's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. Now, a lot of people didn't know this, but when Lil Wayne was arrested back in 2010 and Drake was gearing up to drop his debut album, Thank Me Later, there were reports that Drake slept with a woman that Lil Wayne really liked. And when Lil Wayne got released, Drake told him, and Lil Wayne, in an interview that he did a while ago, said that it hurt his feelings.
So apparently, in the book, there's a part in the book where you say that he came in and told you that he had smashed one of your girls.
Oh, when he
yes.
wrapped up. Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I mean, I was just, that's just how life goes when you locked up. When you in jail, though, even your side is your main. When you in jail.
I could talk to you all day.
I don't know if it ever messed up with the relationship because they were still cool after that, but, messing with somebody's female while they're locked up, especially if it's one of your homies, it's a very disrespectful thing to do. And the crazy thing about this whole Drake thing is there's been a lot of rumors surrounding that Drake sleeps with a lot of his friends' females, and that's why a lot of the people have been mad at him. That's why Drake has a lot of enemies right now. It's because he just sleeps with anybody, any female that he wants, and it's like, it's a unwritten kind of rule that if you've already messed with this female, it's one of your friends, don't touch her, like stay away from her, because even if he says he doesn't have feelings for her, there's still a past there and he might have feelings for her. So there's been a lot of rumors saying that Drake does that, and that's why a lot of people hate Drake, that he goes behind people's backs and sleeps with their females and stuff like that. So Kendrick Lamar is doubling down that and saying, you did that to the only person that actually co-signed you and gave you this, love. You did it to the one person that did that, Lil Wayne. And then to apologize, you got his face tatted on you like a little bitch. So, and he does have his tatted on him. You can find it in a photo, which is crazy. But, hey, we don't know the exact backstory, but that's what Kendrick Lamar is saying. That's why the face tattoo is on there. Then Kendrick Lamar talks about DeMar DeRozan. He says, I'm glad DeRozan came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. Here he's talking about DeMar DeRozan. He played for the Toronto Raptors for most of his career, then got traded to the San Antonio Spurs, and then he ended up going to the Chicago Bulls, which is an American, obviously, team. So he's saying you didn't deserve him up in Toronto. Glad he's back on American soil. Now he speaks up for a lot more people in Compton, and these necklines, he says, from Alondra down to Central, guy better not speak on Serena. Alondra down to Central is just, he's talking about, throughout the whole Los Angeles, don't speak, about anybody here because I will defend them. And he's talking about Serena Williams. So this is the kind of story of how Drake and Common got into a little battle. Common at the time was actually dating Serena, and apparently Drake tried to holler at her, and that's where kind of the battle started. And Kendrick is saying, ever since things with you and Serena didn't work out, you've been disrespecting her because they were seen, going on a date back in 2015. And then in 2022, Drake also name dropped Serena as well as her husband in the track Middle of the Ocean. He said, sidebar, Serena, your husband a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no, boo, it's like you coming for sushi. We might pop up on him at will like Suzuki, which is weird, man. After all this time goes on, like move on from the situation, Drake. That is probably one of the weird things. So Kendrick is sticking up for Serena. And Serena's husband actually posted about this and was happy that Kendrick was doing that. And then Kendrick says, and your homeboy needs subpoena, that predator moving in flocks. That name got to be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. Now he's talking about, the OVO crew having weird things going around that they should be subpoenaed. They should, they're moving all together in flocks and they should be registered. That these sex offenders and these pedophiles should be registered on Neighborhood Watch apps because these guys are all weirders. Then he says, I lean on you guys like another line of walk. Walk is a slang term for promethazine, codeine, lean. He's saying I'm leaning on you guys like I was, taking another line of walk. And then he says, yeah, it's all eyes on me, and I'm going to send it up to Pac. Put the wrong label on me, I'm going to get him dropped. Here, Kendrick Lamar is referring to Tupac's All Eyes on Me album, and is saying, it's a double entendre saying, hey, it's all eyes on me, everybody's watching me, as well as Tupac, and I'm going to send it up to Pac, meaning Pac can finish this guy off because, hey, you disrespected him on the tailor-made freestyle, so I'm going to use that against you as much as I can. Then he says, put the wrong label on me, I'm going to get him dropped. And here he's saying, stop accusing me of things that I've never done, like beating my wife and all these things, that I'm not a family person. Don't do that because I'm going to drop you. I'm going to beat your ass. Then he says, sweet chin music, and I won't pass the ox. Here, Kendrick Lamar makes reference to the legendary WWE wrestler Shawn Michaels, who has a signature move called the sweet chin music, where he kind of like lifts his leg up and kicks somebody in the face. It's like a finishing move. And interesting enough, Shawn Michaels had a battle with a former Canadian wrestler by the name of Bret Hart, both who had a feud for a long time. So it plays on to Kendrick Lamar having a feud with Drake because he's a Canadian. Funny enough, Shawn Michaels reacted to this line on Twitter and said, a little sweet chin music goes a long way. Kendrick Lamar, you and Drake are formally invited to the WWE next to settle this thing. I'm even offering my services to mediate. So he invited them to go to a wrestling match. That would be fire if Kendrick and Drake did a wrestling match against each other. But ultimately, that's probably not going to ever happen. But yeah, dope line, and it's a homage to one of the legendary wrestlers out there. Then he says, how many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. So this is the rumor that I was talking about earlier about Kendrick Lamar having 5 more tracks loaded up, because he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are at least 5 already, plus 5, meaning I got more. So he continues on and says, devil is a lie, he has 69 God. Freaky ass guys need to stay the ass inside. Now this is a play on words and just, what Drake refers to himself as the 6th God. And Drake has flipped that 6th God into a 9, even on the Views album. He says, 6 is a 9 now. So he's playing with Drake about that and saying you're a 69 guy, which is a sexual position. It's a freaky sexual position. And he's saying you're a freaky ass guy just in general. You need to stay inside, not be outside, because you're going to do freaky weird things to females and underage people. So stay away from them. Then he says, roll the ass up like a fresh pack of za. City is back up. It's a must. We outside. Here, rolling somebody up in hip hop obviously is smoking, basically smoking them, destroying them. It's something that rappers have kind of stopped saying, but Tuka was the first thing where people would say, roll up Tuka and smoke on him, basically destroying your opponent. But that's what he's saying. I roll up Drake. It's over. City is back up. We out here. It's over, man. The song is going to make the city go crazy, and it is. It's working right now. It's It went number one, and everybody's bumping it. And Kendrick's going to have a show, I think, on June 17th or 19th. He's probably going to perform it and maybe add the nails in the coffin when it comes to this battle there. Then the hook repeats, and now we get into verse 3. And this verse is interesting because there's a lot of historical, mentions. And he ties it to Drake of how he's a colonizer, that he's not really part of the culture. He just reaps the benefits of it and doesn't actually help the culture. So he starts out verse 3 saying, once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the Mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second. Let me put y'all on game. So here he's talking about Drake on Family Matters, saying, always rapping like you about to get the slaves freed. You just acting like an activist. It's make-believe. Which the line was poorly received by people. So Kendrick is saying, he's calling us some slaves. We're just chained up black people and slaves. You're not really part of the culture. Look how disconnected you are from the culture. You're calling us slaves. That's what you're doing. Even if I'm speaking for them, you're just calling me out for speaking for them. So he educates him and says, hey, Atlanta was the Mecca, building railroads and trains, and Atlanta did do that. Atlanta was built on the back of black people, and the settlers there were using them and then reaping all the benefits of it. So that's what Kendrick Lamar is saying Drake is doing. He'll, have Lil Baby, 2 Chainz, and all these people that Kendrick Lamar mentions towards the end of the verse. He'll use them, but they're the ones that built this Atlanta culture. Drake just comes in there, reaps the benefits of it, and then leaves. So he says, bear with me for a second. Let me put y'all on game. The settlers was using town folk to make them richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. He says, you run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This is the real guy challenge. You call Future when you didn't see the club. Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like you a slime in your head. Quavo said you can be from North Side. 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. So here he's breaking down each artist that Drake has been commonly associated with in Atlanta. He says Future gave you that aura in the club to make everybody rock with you in the club. If it wasn't for Future, you wouldn't have that love in the club like you do now with the strippers and all that stuff, because he's always out in Magic City, throwing ones at strippers here in Atlanta, right? And then he says Lil Baby helped you with your lingo because you don't know how to talk like Atlanta people because Atlanta has their own slang and lingo. And Lil Baby helped you with that. That's how you fit in with that lingo. Then he says 21 Savage, being a real street guy, gave you that street cred by working with you. Because if he never worked with you, you wouldn't have that street credibility. Then he says Thug made you feel like you're a slime in your head. Slime is the Rico gang that's getting charged right now in Atlanta. Young Thug's locked up for that. Slime is his kind of quote-unquote gang that they're, charging and saying that, you say free Slime, you pretend like you're actually part of that gang, but you're not. Then he says Quavo said you can be from the North Side, meaning you can be from my area, we rock with you, you're good to go. And that's the only reason you got the street credibility, because now Quavo is letting you rock like that. Then he says 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. And this is a great wordplay because, 2 Chainz and Drake did a song called No Lie, saying that you're good, but he actually lied, regardless of the track being No Lie. Continuing on, he says, you run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague, you're a fucking colonizer. So, like he said earlier, need a check balance. He only goes there when he needs something to get his money flowing, to get his clout in hip-hop, whatever you want to call it, aura flowing in hip-hop, to make him seem like he's part of hip-hop, but he's not really from there. And this line where he says, you're not a colleague, you're a fucking colonizer, basically saying you're not helping us, you're not a colleague, you're not helping us in this culture. You're just reaping the benefits like Colonizer did. They would go in there after everything's been built and just reap the benefits of it. And there's an interesting tweet that was pointed out saying Drake collecting Pac's ring, G-Unit chain, Pharrell's chains, gathering all the cultural heirlooms like one colonizer. That's another example that, Kendrick Lamar is referring to here, that he takes all these iconic things from hip-hop culture, the G-Unit spinning chain, Pharrell's insane chains, Pac's ring, all these cool things in hip-hop, and is gathering up like a colonizer would do. And then Kendrick Lamar talks about Drake's Family Matters track. He says, the family matter, and the truth of the matter, it was God's plan to show y'all the liar. Here, Kendrick Lamar is playing on Drake's Family Matters track and Drake's God's Plan track, saying that, hey, the truth of the matter is this was God's plan. It was planned for me to destroy you like this and show to the world that you're not part of this culture. You're a fraud. You're nothing that you say that you are. And then the song goes into a bridge where he says he a fan, he a fan, he a fan. Now, this means two things. One, he a fan, meaning he's outside of the culture. He's not really part of this hip-hop culture. He's just a fan of it. And this fan thing can also mean freaky ass N-word, because F-A-N, fan, F-A-N, freaky ass N-word. So he's saying he's a freaky ass guy. He's a freaky ass guy. And then he even doubles down that, saying freaky ass guy, he has 69 God. Freaky ass guy, he has 69 God. And then he says, hey, 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 run for your life. He could be referring to Bill Cosby here, because there was a famous clip of Bill Cosby walking out of court on day 2 of jury deliberations. And he says, hey, 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 which is his iconic Fat Albert cartoon that he has. And he could be referring to that because Bill Cosby has also been accused of raping women and doing a lot of things. So could be alluding to that. Then he says, let me hear you say OV-ho. So he's just playing with OVO name, calling it OVO, which is a nice, catchy tune. Then it's a dance. Step this way. Step that way. Step this way. So he pretty much exited this track perfectly, because it's something that's going to be stuck in people's head and they're going to dance to it. And that's what Drake was probably trying to do with his music, but Kendrick Lamar executed it way better. And that's why the song performed a lot better than anything Drake released when it comes to this battle. Then in the outro, he says, are you my friend? Are we locked in? Step this way, step that way. So more of dancing, having fun. At the end of the day, that's what this track is. It was meant to be a club banger, and Kendrick Lamar executed it perfectly. So that's it for the breakdown of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Let me know what you guys think of the track overall. And is this the track that put the nail in the coffin for you? Or was it Meet the Grams? Because I know everybody has their own kind of thoughts on what track they felt was the one that did the thing that destroyed, either artist. Whether you think Drake's Family Matters is a better track, Not Like Us, Push Ups, Euphoria, whatever, 616 in LA, Taylor Made Freestyle, whatever tracks out all these tracks that you're a fan of, which one do you think put the nail in the coffin in this battle? I personally think it's Not Like Us, but I do like Family Matters as well. So let me know what you guys think. Let's get into new music. Moneybagg Yo dropped Play the Fool. Ski Mask, the Slump God, dropped 11th Dimension, the album. Thames dropped Born in the World, the album. The Game dropped Time. It's not really an album. It's kind of mixtape. It features, very weird, man. It has like a couple of Game tracks that are really fire. I actually listened to the project. But like majority is like other rappers. It's like a compilation project. It's very weird. I didn't expect that, but hey, it is what it is. He had a couple records on there that are fire. So whatever Game tracks are on there, it was fire. He dropped a track with Kevin Gates, which I know I said on Twitter it's the first feature they ever did together, but I'm talking just them two. I know they work with each other on the Year of the Wolf with Young Jeezy. I'm talking just them two. I was really happy to hear that. BNJID dropped Lights Out. Denzel Curry dropped Hot One featuring A$AP Ferg and Tia Corone. That's it for new music. Let's go into album sales. Taylor Swift is still number 1 with The Tortured Poets at 146,000 copies sold. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, is at number 2 with 112,000 copies sold. AT's debuted at number 3 with Golden Hour Part 1 with 112,000 sold. Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time, at number 4 with 68,000 sold. Shabuzi, Where I've Been Isn't Where I'm Going, debuted at number 5 with 47,000 sold. That's pretty good, man. Pretty good numbers for a new artist debuting. Morgan Wallen, Dangerous Double Album, number 6 with 42,000 sold. Gunna 101, number 7 with 40,000 sold. Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You, number 8 with 40,000 sold. Noah Khan, Stick Season, number 9 with 39,000 sold. Zach Bryan, self-titled album, number 10 with 34,000 sold. SZA SOS, number 11, 34,000 sold. Going down the list, Glorilla, Everything, number 19 with 23,000 sold. Eminem, Curtain Call, wow, that went up a lot. And this is people discovering Eminem's old music because of the Houdini. By the way, that Houdini track is probably going to debut in the top 3, which is, or maybe even number 1, which is insane. Shout out to Eminem. Curtain Call is at number 27 with 21,000 sold. So clearly people are going back to the old music and listening because of the single. Travis Scott, Utopia, number 29 with 20,000 sold. Drake, For All the Dogs, number 31 with 19,000 sold. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, number 32 with 19,000 sold. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, at number 34 with 19,000 sold. Lil Baby, My Turn, number 45 with 16,000 sold. And that's it for album sales. And that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. Of course, powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Please support them. They support us for all season 4 of the podcast. We really appreciate it. So that's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Spotify, Pocket Cast, YouTube, all that. Stream us, watch us. We appreciate you as always. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.